Owning a car is often a symbol of success, a new job, higher pay, or even a promotion. Now, when it comes to success and cars, no one comes close to Elizabeth Lee, the only female president of the Chamber of Automotive Manufacturers of the Philippines. Now, after 7 years of leading the industry, Beth decided to step down. Today, we find out what prompted her to leave, what inspires her to stay, and what else Beth has up her sleeve. I'm Anthony Pangilinan, and that is my ride to the boardroom. As much as she loves cars, Beth Lee, CEO of Emotors Incorporated, has a strong passion for a clean, safe, and efficient environment. She's made a name for herself in the automotive industry and has spent much of her life selling cars worth millions of pesos. She then decided to zoom her way to a more significant life selling Zoom e-trikes, quiet, economical, and good for the environment.
Hey, Anthony!
Hi there!
Good to see you.
Good to see you on this. So this is what Emotors is all about.
Yes.
What do you call this?
It's an all-electric Zoom e-trike.
All-electric Zoom e-trike.
Yes.
So this is what Emotors is about today.
That's right.
Can we try it?
Let's go take a ride.
Great. So, how does this work? How does this work?
It's really easy. It's like, it works like a golf cart. It's like your cell phone. It's plug and play. So you charge this on any conventional 220-volt socket.
Okay, most companies who are into electric vehicles now,
Yes.
EVs, who were previously or are into cars, as you were, why this for you?
This because in the Philippines, there are 3.5 million tricycles. If you can imagine, Anthony, one motorbike or one tricycle actually dumps 2 tons of CO2 in the air. 2 tons looks like if you pick your favorite 4-door sedan and stack them up one on top of each other, 67 of them, that's the volume of 2 tons.
Of one tricycle?
One tricycle per year, flying every day, 30 days a month, 12 months in a year.
And you're telling us you want to replace all of that? That's 3.5 million jobs,
That's actually that's the dream, that's the ideal for the whole auto industry. But that's really not realistic. So right now what we're trying to do is to complement. So we don't compete. We don't compete. We actually complement. You have to take a look at where you can actually use electric vehicles for short, multiple, frequent trips. It's like what we're doing it now.
Well, I want to know more about the story. Okay?
All right.
As we go into the boardroom. This has been a great ride. Salamat, ha? Thank you very much. I'd like to drive this myself. Let's go to the boardroom.
Okay, let's go.
So Beth, it's been a long-drawn love affair with cars.
Yes, it has been.
So how was that? As head of Campi, how was that for you?
It was wonderful. I enjoyed the ride. I mean, my whole career actually is kind of like, it's a roller coaster ride, but I'm very grateful for everything, all the ups and downs in between, because that's what you learn. And I'm really privileged to be working or to have had worked with a lot of the people who are the big guys in the automotive industry, the large brands, that's your Toyota, Nissan, Honda, Mitsubishi, BMW, etc. To be working together, to be in the same room with them, and then to be elected as the head of Campi. I mean, that is something that I treasure. It really is God's blessing to be in that spot.
You turned away from that blessing. You let go of that company. So from 200 kilometer per hour cars to a typical 20 kilometer per hour.
40 kilometers.
Pag medyo speeding ka na,
speeding
na. That shift. What made you say, I'm going for a social enterprise? Still with cars, starting with e-trikes. Yes. What was it? What made you say, this is it, goodbye?
Well, it wasn't as pronounced or as simple as that. I think going into a social enterprise, the seed kind of started when I was still with Nissan. My mom and I started this Your Van, Your Business program. It's a first in the auto industry that marries vehicle sales directly with poverty alleviation.
Okay.
So seeing as how that actually, the seed money changed the lives of the underprivileged micro entrepreneurs, that kind of like changed my perspective. And that's how it changed me as well. And that's why we started with a social enterprise.
What are the factors that help you say, this is it?
You always have this thing wherein you reach kind of like the top for me.
Of course, you
for
were at
me.
the top.
And I was just looking for there was something lacking. Even if I changed brands, I would still be doing the same thing. And I loved what I did. But there was just one thing, there's something missing. And then I recall I was the happiest when I actually saw the lives that were changed using this Your Van, Your Business program. The underprivileged micro-entrepreneur that actually are now employers when they started, a sari-sari store. That kind of changed my perspective.
But I know there was this opportunity presented to you to also join government, to
Yes,
be our commissioner in customs.
Yes.
But that fizzled out. Why? That was a chance to serve millions as well.
I actually said yes in the beginning. I was telling the president, you don't have to convince me to do something for my country. I'm there. I'm already there. You don't need to convince me. But I was not at peace because I was searching. I said, there's something missing. So I prayed, is this it? Is this what you want me to do? Because if this is what you want me to do, then you're gonna guide me and you're gonna help me through it.
And you're gonna make mama say yes. So mommy knows best.
Yeah.
I mean, cut the long story short, you still left the gasoline
Yes.
powered industry and you went into this social enterprise.
Yes. And we started with really three-wheelers, three-wheel electric vehicles, because there are 3.5 million
As you mentioned earlier.
tricycles,
Yes.
nationwide. And
Yes.
that's the one that actually puts out a large carbon footprint.
Winner of the ADEC Innovations Green Company of the Year Award is Emotors Inc.
Because of its vision to make an impact in society and to make our planet a safer place to live in, Emotors made news and won the Green Company of the Year at the 2015 CEO Awards. What paved the way for this and many other successes for Beth Lee? We find out when the boardroom returns. Beth Lee's goal is not just to make money or to beat the competition, but to complement the competition and complete the industry for our society. How does a Wonder Woman do it? We find out. So, from being a professional with thousands of employees to a social entrepreneur, and now you have to mind everything. How's that?
It's a total shift. It's like a 180-degree shift. Before it's like sailing. This one is
Whitewater
not.
rafting.
This is whitewater rafting.
What didn't you expect? What did you expect when you said, I'm going to go for a social enterprise? What didn't you see, but now you see?
There is a structure, but it's more flat.
Right.
Collaborative. Plus, really, it's you get to do everything. You're the accountant, you're the janitor, you're the HR, all these things. You're the salesperson.
Is it impossible that
everything.
doing all of that gets you out of the main reason why you got into the business in the first place? You wanted to provide alternative vehicles, e-vehicles, but doesn't it make you want to quit occasionally?
When you quit, you're done. So, no, I think there really is a lot of things that needs to be done. But to answer your question is, that happens if you don't delegate. So you
Okay, so
have to
that's
be
the
able
principle.
to attract the right type of people who are willing to ride the ship with you. Because it's a startup. It's a very new industry. It's very young, very nascent. So there is no historical benchmark. Even globally, electric vehicles is only a small percentage at this point in time.
So it's not just a car, it's a lifestyle. It's a way of life that you're trying to change.
Yes, way
So
of
this is
life
beyond your company.
and culture.
So how are you doing that?
You know what? You'd be surprised. If you actually ask any person on the street, go down the street and ask them, do you think having an electric vehicle or an electric trike, do you think that's a good idea? Hands down, all of them will say yes. So in terms of people knowing, do we need this? Is this something that's good for the environment? Yes.
So people are open to it, but there's the awareness, the adoption, right? There are different stages, phases. What stage are we in right now in this country?
In terms of awareness, are electric vehicles non-pollutant, zero noise? Is it good for the environment? The answer is yes. But getting from there to like the implementation, because would people want it? Yes. Would people like to ride it? Yes. So the key is actually getting it out on the streets, getting to scale. That's one of the main challenges that every entrepreneur, especially social entrepreneurs, face, is getting to scale. So there are roadblocks, there are obstacles in between on how you get to scale.
What's the biggest?
For example,
what's the biggest for you?
the biggest,
at the
if you're
moment?
going to say to scale, like here in the Philippines, would be LGUs, because you do have to work with government in order for, let's say, the TODAs, the tricycle operator and driver.
Oh, so this is specifically for e-trikes?
Yes, but it's really to complement, because it's ideal that you would replace, but that's not realistic.
So that is a mindset that you'd like all LGUs to buy into. We're not here to compete with you, we're here to complement with you.
Yes.
If
and
only you're willing to talk.
Yeah, and to lower the cost, the system. Maybe we need to kind of like change the system as well. That's why it's important for constituents, for us, for citizens to say, I want my city green and clean. So people need to actually shout out. But if you do talk to the tricycle drivers do not want a polluting tricycle. They don't want that. They just have no choice. But if they have options and you give them the financing, and there's not a lot of the in-between costs of doing business to lower the cost, then you actually not only help create livelihood for those tricycle drivers, but you also have now a healthier person, healthier passengers, and healthier community. And I think, if I may say this, our Zoom e-trike, the purpose of that really is to combat corruption. Number two,
Combat corruption.
Yes,
because
the poor are corruptible because they're poor. If they're given this tool so that they can earn a living,
I got it.
then they're not going to have to ask for Mr. Whoever, can I have money, or can I buy your votes? Because I can earn a living, I can support my family. So it really is meant to be anti-corruption. The other one is to hopefully solve or help solve or be a solution for the social injustice of not having a job. Everybody should have a job. The ones who are nakatambay lang nandyan, they just don't have the tools. But if you give them the tools and the opportunity to have a job, then and earn a living with this livelihood, then they can actually uplift not only themselves. So it's empowerment.
give me one thing that has excited you so far in your journey introducing EVs in the Philippines.
I think the reception. Although the implementation is still, we still have some ways to go. But then the reception, every time when people ask you like, oh, what do you do? And then when you say something, oh yeah, I'm trying to do this, electric vehicles are going, wow, that's kind of cool.
Oh, it wasn't just local, not just national, but international. APEC, for example, you're providing that.
Yes, we were the one that was chosen to represent the Philippines when the Philippines hosted the APEC last year with 21 member countries. So the ministers and their staff rode on our locally made, locally assembled Zoom e-trikes around the premises.
But not all lift us up. What developments, for example, starting up has worn you down?
You're always bombarded with a lot of things every day, always. I mean, sometimes you're like the fire engine or fire station putting out fires every day. But you kind of like have to step back and take a look at, well, why am I doing this anyway in the first place?
And how do you answer it?
So the why really is, we always cry about pollution. We always cry about health, climate change. Well, do something. It's like be the change you want to see, or at least try. At least try.
Though in an industry dominated by men, Beth Lee's voice and message was heard loud and clear. And today, because of Emotors' combination of business and advocacy, they are making an impact across the Philippine Islands. Next, we talk to Beth about her plans for the future, for the company, and the e-vehicle. Only here at the Boardroom. We have a long way to go, but the journey is worth it. For Beth Lee and Emotors, what they're fighting for and what they're doing for the country is worth much more than all the time, energy, and resources invested to make this company succeed. As we continue our interview with Beth, we find out where the company and the vehicles are headed. Whew. Let's move to the ultimate goal of Beth getting into this industry. Is it global domination? What's the plan?
Oh my gosh. No, actually it's changing lives. It's the goal of Emotors really is to uplift people's lives, make things better for others, using the products that we carry, the business we're in, and the circle of influence that we have. You make a difference in one life. That really is something.
So would you have now your own measures of success? Has it changed for you? To say that I'm moving forward, this is working. How do you measure success?
It will still be based on like the number of vehicles, but it has to be tied to something. So it's actually not so much as how many vehicles, but then when we sell vehicles, how many tons of CO2 do you actually get to
Oh, those
say?
67 cars.
That's right.
2 tons.
And if, for example, a foundation actually adapts our Zoom e-vehicles, then you're actually creating livelihood for people. So not only do their kids get educated that this is good, so we have to do this pangkabuhayan, pangkalikasan. So these kind of things, then you instill it on little kids saying that, yeah, this is what the future should be. We should not be wasting, we should not be, polluting. And yet you give them a tool so that they can actually earn a living that's much higher than if you would use a regular polluting tricycle.
How do you keep the fire in there? How do you keep yourselves fully charged?
One word, faith.
Oh, look at that.
And plus my mom always taught me, if you died tomorrow, did it make a difference that you lived today? Each one of us has a purpose. Each one of us is given a talent, and it's not meant to be just for you. So if you're given an idea, perhaps you can do something and make a difference. The end result of whether it's like, oh my gosh, wow, 3 million tricycles are changed, or you're just starting out to say, okay, 1,000 or 100. The end result, actually, sometimes it doesn't matter. You don't hang on to that end result every day. You just take a look at what you can do every day.
So what has it taken for you to be a CEO in this kind of industry with that kind of change? It's not just, again, the car, but the whole society that you have to change.
But the industry, the global automotive industry is moving towards alternative fuels.
Okay, so that is
almost all manufacturers.
So
almost
the context
all
is
global
changing.
manufacturers.
That
Yes.
is a tsunami that is supporting you.
Yes. There is a study that by 2020, electric vehicles are supposed to actually have a larger share. By 2040, 35% of new vehicle sales will be electric. By 2022, which is supposed to be the sort of like the jump off or the lift off point for electric vehicles, the cost of EVs will now be comparable to the cost of their counterparts, their ICE counterparts, our internal combustion engines, by 2022. That's the liftoff. So that's not so far from now. But globally, everybody's sort of like iterating also to see how can we make this happen, because we have to move towards that.
Don't you ever get stressed? Hindi ka ba nalolobat in this electric vehicle industry?
Siyempre, nalolobat din.
How do you recharge?
I'm very simple, boring, really. But what I relish is some quiet time.
Oh, look at that.
Some quiet time. Even when I read my Kindle, or just quiet time. Massage is nice.
Oh, riding
Go to
your
the spa.
riding your vehicle is
Or
quiet.
riding, yeah, that's right.
riding your e-trike is a quiet
That's
time
right.
for me.
That's right. Zero noise and zero pollution. But right now, really it's a roller coaster ride. But it's, if I can actually share, the inspiration of, we got to do something about this climate change, about pollution, about congestion. Imagine if there's so many congestions and people will say, oh, so if you put an e-trike there, it's going to be even more congested. I said, no, that's an opportunity. Imagine with all these congested tricycles and you actually change that to be electric, that congestion becomes clean.
How are you trying to change the mindsets of people? How does one like you try to change the mindsets of millions of Filipinos?
One Zoom at a time. That it's available, that you can actually make a difference. One does make a difference because many ones become many.
What is the world Beth Lee's trying to create? Especially in contribution, through e-vehicles, through e-motors.
Social justice, because it is livelihood, it is employment, and at the same time, climate change mitigation. Because, we should not leave this world worse than when we found it.
For those who want to invest in EVs, for example, what is the encouragement from Beth?
This is a long term. So you need to focus on the long term. It's like LED lights. They are expensive at the start, but then the benefits that you reap year on and year out, because it lasts longer and it's good for the environment and it becomes cheaper as you go along. That's how it is. So if somebody's going to get into this, you have to take a look at it on the long term,
How about your future partner? What's your message to your future partner?
What do you mean, future partner, Anthony?
I mean COO.
I leave that.
For people who align with you, how do people align with Beth? They must be?
They must be, one, God-fearing.
Okay.
Two, have a great sense of humor.
Look at
Don't be
that.
so serious.
Look at that.
Three, you have to be industrious because nothing is free. You have to really work at everything. And then four, enjoy life.
Look at that. The 4 criteria has just been presented. Thank you so much, Beth Lee.
Thank you, Anthony.
It's been a great time.
Thank you.
We wish you the very best, not just in this business, but in your desire to change this country. Maraming salamat.
Thanks, Anthony.
All right. Don't just get to where you want to go, enjoy the ride and make a difference along the way. Join me again next week as we engage with some of the country's top business leaders, innovators, and executives. I'm Anthony Pangilinan, and this is The Boardroom.